Kuleo. My name is Bushra. Èmi lọmọ wọn nìbàdàn, ọmọ wọn nílé Olúyọ̀lé, ọmọ ajẹ̀gbíjẹ̀kara wọn àfikara wọn fọ́rin mu, Ìbàdàn májà májà. Tó ṣe kí ni o tó kọ ara wájú lẹ́rú, èmi tí wọ́n láya wọn nílé Adéwuyì. So you want to learn about Yoruba movies you should watch. You want to learn about our culture, our lifestyle, our food, and of course, our Owambe. You've come to the right channel, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. If you are new here, kindly click on the subscribe button, like, share, and turn on the post notification bell so you get informed when I post a new video. If you're an OG, hey Timmy, thanks for always coming back. Today, we're going to be talking about raising kids abroad and how I'm trying to pass down my heritage to my children. Emma Bamikano. Cherry, living abroad has been an amazing and a beautiful experience. Mi ò gbọ́dọ̀ parọ́. There has been some culture shocks here and there of báwo nǹkan ṣe yàtọ̀ sí bó ṣe wà ní Nàìjíríà. Àmọ́ báwo ni mo ṣe ń gbìyànjú láti jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ mi láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ nípa àṣà àti èdè Yorùbá, láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ nípa ìṣesí báwo lọmọ Yorùbá ṣe yẹ kó ṣe, báwo lọmọ Yorùbá ṣe yẹ kó hùwà. I try to reincorporate these things little by little, and I am glad that my children, no matter how little, are beginning to accept and are beginning to understand that they are Yorubas. Cherry, raising Yoruba kids abroad, it doesn't come without its own unique challenges. Sometimes it feels like there's a constant push and pull between the modern world that they are growing in and the traditional Yoruba settings they had back home. You know that in Nigeria, normally you speak Yoruba to them constantly. When they go to school, of course, they speak English. When they come back home, their community, everybody speaks Yoruba. So they know, they pick up those words from people speaking Yoruba. One of the things that I've tried to incorporate and that I see that is working for me is that I constantly speak Yoruba around my children. Constantly. And sometimes when they say some things, I try to repeat the same word or repeat the same thing back to them in Yoruba. And honestly, the joy of seeing them understand our language, no matter how little, is so rewarding. From little things that like mo fẹ́ jẹun or lọ mú omi wá or where is your bata? You know, just little things like that. And what did I do or how am I doing it to be able to, incorporate or let them understand this culture and this tradition and this language called Yoruba? What I do or what I feel like works for me is that láàárọ̀ tá bá fẹ́ fọnu tàbí lálẹ́ tá bá fẹ́ fọnu ká tó lọ sùn. I try to, let them know when you say, oh, lanu, fẹ̀yìn ẹ, your teeth is your eyín, your head is your ori. He already knows that. Etí, imú, little things like that. I think we all know this nursery rhyme. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. And the Yoruba version is orí mi, èjìká, orúnkún, ẹsẹ̀, orí mi, èjìká, orúnkún, ẹsẹ̀, orí mi, èjìká, orúnkún, ẹsẹ̀, tìrẹ ni Olúwa pátápátá. If you sang along with me, you are an OG. Honestly, doing all these little things has actually helped me incorporate Yoruba, learning Yoruba to my children. Another thing I like doing is when I'm cooking food, my son really does not know the difference between amala, eba, semo, fufu, or whatever. He calls everything eba. But I am glad that he even understands that okele is eba. Gradually, he will start learning and knowing the difference between all these swallows. And little things like that already makes me feel like, okay, at least I am trying to pass down this culture. I am trying to pass down this tradition to the next generation. Sometimes I try to tell them stories. And stories mo máa ń sọ yìí, ó máa ń stem láti àwọn eléyìí tí wọ́n máa ń wò lórí amóhùnmáwòrán, ìyẹn television. Tó bá ń wo gbogbo àwọn eléyìí tí wọ́n máa ń wò yẹn, tó bá rí ìtàn ìjàpá, what is ìjàpá? Ìjàpá is tortoise. And from there, we start talking about all those folklores that we listen to while growing up. You know, this hello, all those ones. It's beautiful reminiscing all these things and trying to remember what it felt like growing up for me compared to them growing up now. Nígbà táwa ń ṣe kékeré, a máa ń bọ́ síta ṣeré ìyẹ̀pẹ̀, our imagination ran wild because we are always outside playing with sand, trying to cook up imaginary food, trying to serve imaginary people. It was fun because these were the things that kept our mind open. These were the things that kept us active. But these days, these days, it's the children are inside. The times that they're supposed to be playing outside, the roomba wa pé bí ayé ṣe gbẹgẹ́ nìsín káwọn ọmọ má tún ṣeré níta jù nǹkan kan. I understand our fears. Sometimes these things needs to be done so that maybe this kid gets a little glimpse of what it was like for us growing up. Another thing that I like to do is, sometimes just play Yoruba movie where they are, I mean, of course, PG Yoruba movies where they are drumming and just have him do some kind of cultural dance steps and all of those things. It's always very funny, he doesn't get it right, but I mean, it's just a part of trying to make him understand that this is your roots, this is where you come from, this is who you are. Ọmọ Yorùbá ni ẹ́, ọmọ Yorùbá tata, and you should never forget that. Ẹ̀yin tèmi, I know that I am not alone on this journey. I know that a lot of us have moved away from the community where we grew up. In fact, most of us have moved countries and raising children in this country away from what we grew up learning, away from that comfort of our community, away from the comfort of us learning our language, learning about our culture, learning about our heritage. I know that sometimes we feel that void, we feel that absence. Kí la máa ṣe? Kí lẹ̀yin ṣe lọ́dọ̀ tiyín? Kí ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún yín? What works for you? What works for your children? Àwọn ọmọ tèmi ṣì kéré, so it's still a learning process. We are still in the process. Ẹ̀yin tọ́mọ yín ṣì kéré, abẹ́yìn tọ́mọ yín ti dàgbà. Kí lẹ ṣe? Kí ni àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tẹ́ gbé tẹ́ fi ń incorporate, tẹ́ fi inculcate àṣà àti ìṣe Yorùbá sí inú àwọn ọmọ yìí kí wọ́n má lè gbàgbé orírun wọn, kí wọ́n má gbàgbé ibi tí wọ́n ti wá, kí wọ́n má gbàgbé pé ọmọ Yorùbá làwọn. Do you have any tips tàbí challenges tàbí stories tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ? Let's go to the comment section. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ fọ̀rọ̀ jomi toro ọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n ní nǹkan tá a bá dìjọ wò gígùn ní gùn. I have said the ways that I am trying to incorporate and inculcate this culture called Yoruba to my children. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n gbọ́ látọ̀dọ̀ yín. How are you doing yours? Is it working for you? Is it still a learning curve for you? What are your challenges? I want to hear them. Maybe I will incorporate them in mine as well. Ẹ̀yin ìyá mi, ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ mi, ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ mi, gbogbo ibikíbi tẹ́ ẹ bá wà, tá a bá sí nílé, àwa tá a bá wà lájò, ẹ jẹ́ ká build community. Let's build that Yoruba community. Àṣà àti ìṣe Yorùbá yìí kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ parun lórí wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbìyànjú, ká try láti pass down Yorùbá yìí, the culture, the beautiful, the rich culture, the heritage of Yorùbá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká pass ẹ̀ sí àwọn ọmọ wa. Ayé ìgbà kan náà máa ń sọ pé Yorùbá is a vernacular. But ní ìsinyìí kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́ because alára ló ń gbáraga. Ẹ dákun, ẹ má jẹ́ á gbàgbé o. Yorùbá yìí, àṣà, ìṣe Yorùbá yìí, ọwọ́ wa ló wà o. Nítorí wípé àwọn òbí wa wọ́n ti pass ẹ̀ down sí wa. Ó wá kù káwa náà ká pass ẹ̀ down sáwọn tó ń bọ̀. Àárín jù báyìí lọ lórí ètò yìí lónìí. Thank you for being on the show with me today. Wọ́n ní ọ̀bẹ ní bẹ́ṣu, àtẹ́lẹsẹ̀ a sì bẹ̀nà. Èmi ní mọ̀ wá, ẹ̀yin náà ní mọ̀ bá. Orúkọ mi ni Bushra, ọ̀rẹ́ yín, àbúrò yín, olólùfẹ́ yín, ọmọ wọn nìbàdàn, aya wọn nílé Adéwuyì. Ó dọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ fomi jomi toro ọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ fomi tó, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ fomi. Ah! Appreciation.